Hi, Todd. Okay, you know the drill. Do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and all that stuff. And I really do enjoy reading people's comments. I mean, it gives me another perspective. Okay, like always, got my notes. Okay. Now I got two video clips here. One is a story of a woman who has the unrealistic requirements for a husband, and the other one has very realistic requirements for a husband. Many women do not understand that the woman who has the realistic requirements might not be very beautiful, but she will get picked faster by a man to marry than a woman who might be very beautiful, but very unrealistic. The one who is unrealistic, no man is going to want. I mean, you cannot deal with that. Beauty or sex will get a woman in the door with a man, but neither one of them alone will keep a man. Then you got the ones who are not beautiful, are 4 or 5s in looks, but still have outrageous requirements. And no one wants to deal with that. We saw many types of these women when we watched Kevin Samuel's videos. So crazy seemed to be universal. It doesn't matter the country, the nationality, or the culture. I admit when I was traveling through Asia, mostly in Thailand, I saw or met men who told me crazy stories of Thai women. However, these Thai women were not freelancers or scammers. They just had a mean or just bad attitude. All of these women had one thing in common. They were older women. I'm 60 years old, and I've had a lot of female friends and female family members over the years. Currently, many of these females are between the ages of 40 and 80. And out of all these females, only one changed and developed realistic expectations and requirements for a man. But currently, she is now in her 40s and is starting to realize that it might be too late for her. Before I traveled to Asia, I did not have a lot of money. However, I was willing to help one of my female friends out of a bad situation. I have known her for over 40 years. She's more like a little sister to me. I told her that if she can earn around $500 a month from teaching English over the internet, then I could afford her to travel with me. I told her I could pay for everything else, the hotel and the plane tickets, but I cannot afford to pay for everything. She has a college degree, and she's been teaching in the United States for over 2 years. Plus, she has a great professional demeanor, and she is a beautiful, well-kept, older Black woman. So getting employment teaching English over the internet would be easy for her. Plus, she could start doing it a few months before we left to make sure she has some income coming in. However, she was unwilling to do it for many different reasons. Basically, she wanted security and guarantees, and I could not provide that. She's stuck in a world where she's pretending that she's living a life appropriate for her age. Yes, many people our age have purchased homes and new cars and all that stuff, but this is the hand life has given us. We have to work with what we got and build from what we have. We might not be able to build a lot, but it might be better than what we currently have. I have the technical skills, and she has a great on-air professional demeanor. I used her in some of my videos over the past 20 years, so together we might be able to build a great YouTube channel, such as like Melanie King. The point is that many women are not willing to face reality. It not only affects them in their dating and marriage life, but also affects them in many other parts of their life. This has resulted in them not only taking antidepressants, but developing a mean and angry attitude. Anyway, here are the videos. Do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and all that stuff.
This morning, a 40-year-old woman came to me looking for a match. She started listing her requirements, and I was left speechless. She said she wouldn't consider anyone without money, without a house, and she wouldn't want anyone who is ugly or short. I told her, at your age, if you don't lower your standards, you're really not going to get married. When she heard this, she started crying. I felt a bit sorry for her and didn't want to say more. She explained that her relatives and friends no longer try to introduce her to anyone because they think she's too old. Many matchmakers promised to help, but by the end of the year, they barely introduced 1 or 2 people, and they didn't meet her expectations. She cried even more, regretting her past romantic experiences. She told me she had a boyfriend for 5 years who was really good to her. He didn't make much money, but he spent almost all of it on her, fulfilling her wishes and taking care of her. But back then, she didn't know what she wanted, and she listened too much to her parents. They didn't like her first boyfriend because he earned little and was from a different city. They wanted her to marry a local man with better financial prospects. She was persuaded by her parents and thought she should look for someone with better conditions. At that time, she was just a clerk earning 2,000 yuan a month and thought she should marry someone who earned at least 10,000 yuan, with a car and a house. That's when she started going on frequent blind dates at 25 or 26 years old. Indeed, she met some men with good conditions, with cars and multiple houses, even families who had demolition compensation. She dated one of them for 6 months but couldn't accept his personality. She felt like he didn't understand her, and they argued a lot. So, she ended it. Then, she met another man who treated her well, but their relationship lasted less than 3 months. She thought he was too short and unattractive, and she couldn't even hold his hand or kiss him without feeling disgusted. She also thought his personality was too simple and felt like living with him would be stifling, so she didn't want to continue. By the time she reached her 30s, she had already gone on more than 20 blind dates. When she turned 35, no one introduced her to divorced men or those with children. She said that when she was 38, a man with a 38-year-old child tried to approach her, but she wasn't interested. She said she didn't want to be a stepmother and couldn't accept a man with children. Now, at 40, many divorced men don't want to date her either. They'd rather choose someone divorced, but not an unmarried woman in her age group. She started regretting deeply, saying that, while jumping from one relationship to another, she thought she could find a better match, but now she realized that the options were getting worse. She was afraid that she might never find anyone and would end up alone. We thought she was truly regretting it and that her standards would be lowered. But no, her requirements were still the same. She wanted a man with a house in the city center, good financial status, an only child, and no financial burdens. Also, if he were divorced, he couldn't have children. Now she realizes that the reason she's still single is because she didn't lower her expectations. Many older women think that age is a barrier to finding someone. But the problem is not age, it's the fact that they're still looking for something unrealistic. Many times, older women don't want to lower their standards, but reality is different. Many people cling to the motivational messages they see online, but that doesn't solve the problem. It's necessary to face reality and accept the circumstances. Those who are smart know how to deal with it. It's no use fighting reality.
为什么作为大龄剩女，我坚决不会降低找对象的标准呢？
Why, as an older single woman, do I firmly refuse to lower my standards for finding a partner? Because I am just an ordinary person, so my standards for finding a partner are not high to begin with. First of all, I have a small house, so my partner must also have a house. After marriage, we can't be moving every few days, right? Secondly, I earn about 10,000 yuan a month, so my partner's salary doesn't need to be too high, just like mine. If he earns too little, and we argue every day over a bit of money, I might as well live alone. Also, I am 159 centimeters tall, so the man must be taller than 172 centimeters because I don't want two short people to have a child who is also short. Moreover, I only need to wear the wedding dress once, and I don't have high requirements for the wedding, it can be skipped. We can use the money saved from not having a banquet to travel, which is also nice. As for the dowry, I plan to contribute 100,000 yuan, and the man can give me 100,000 yuan as the bride price. This is not excessive, right? Finally, all the expenses of having a child should be borne by the man, because childbirth is not a one-person show. The child belongs to both of us, so it is fair for me to put in the effort and for him to cover the costs. Therefore, I will not lower my standards for finding a partner because they really cannot be any lower. Romance is for dating, but marriage is about these everyday trivialities. This is not about compromising or wronging myself because if life is not good, the one who suffers in the end is me.